Some of you are exhausted, and not because life is heavy, but because you're carrying luggage that has somebody else's name on it. Now, stay with me. Have you ever grabbed a bag off the carousel and you started walking, and a few steps later, you realized that's not mine? Same color, same size, same brand, even, but it wasn't yours. Today, we're talking about baggage and how easy it is to pick up something that was never meant for you. Welcome to Articulated Illustration, where we see things from unusual angles. I'm your host, Dwane Richardson Sr. This podcast is sponsored by me, but if you want to invest in purpose, I'm ready to build with you. Everybody's standing around that carousel with the same posture, arms crossed, eyes locked in, waiting. And here's the thing about a baggage carousel. It doesn't sort anything for you. It just keeps moving round and round, your bag and somebody else's bag, circling the same exact track, looking almost identical from a distance. That's grief, that's guilt, and that's somebody else's opinion of you. It's circling the same track as your purpose, your calling, your peace, and it looks close enough that you will reach for the wrong one if you're not paying attention. Now, maybe it's somebody else's anger. Maybe it's the fear that existed in your family before you were even born. Maybe it's an insecurity somebody handed to you so long ago that you've forgotten there was a time when you didn't even carry it. You didn't pack it. You didn't choose it. But it was already circling by the time you got there. And it looked close enough to call your own. Every bag that's actually yours has a tag on it. Your name, your flight, your claim number. Wisdom is the tag check. It's the pause before you grab it and walk off. And it's asking, wait, is this actually mine to carry? Or did I just recognize the shape of it? A lot of us are out here carrying somebody else's shame because it looks so familiar. We picked up a relative's temper, a parent's fear, a ex's doubt about us, and we never checked the tag. And this isn't just a nice turn of phrases. Psychologists have studied how emotional patterns can travel through families, how ways of responding, relating, fearing, and coping can be learned and repeated across generations. Sometimes we want to call these things generational curses, but sometimes nobody has to sit you down and deliberately teach you something. Why? You absorb it like a sponge. You watch it, you experience it, and eventually it feels normal. Which means some of what feels like that's just who I am truly deserves another look. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. And that's where I had to check my own tag. I realized that one of the bags I've been carrying is expectation. And the strange thing is, I can actually trace where some of it came from. I was taught manners, I was taught common courtesy, and I was taught consideration. Now, those things weren't instilled in me, they were ingrained in me. If somebody holds the door for you, you say thank you. If somebody does something kind for you, you acknowledge it. You show people consideration and you treat people the way you want to be treated. And listen, those were absolutely good lessons. And I am so glad that I was taught those things. And I don't want to unlearn them. But somewhere along the way, I added something to the lesson that I don't think was supposed to be there. Expectation. If I let you into traffic, I expect a wave or a honking of the horn. If I hold the door for you, I expect a thank you. And if I show you consideration, I expect consideration back. And if I tell you thank you, there's a certain response that I expect from you. And here's where I have to be honest with myself. When people don't respond the way I think they should, I can get upset. And if you notice in these sentences, I keep saying I. Because in my mind, I'm not asking for anything extraordinary. These are things that are basic, they are fundamental, they are common courtesy, at least to Dwane. That's what I think. And then I had to ask myself a very difficult question. Basic according to who? Me. My upbringing, what was instilled in me, and what was ingrained in me. And that's when I realized something about myself that I didn't necessarily like. I took a standard that was given to govern my behavior and started using it to judge everybody else's. And that's different. The lesson wasn't the baggage. Courtesy isn't baggage, and gratitude isn't baggage. Respect isn't baggage, and having standards, that's not baggage either. The expectation that I attached to them was the baggage. With that being said, I'm not saying I was raised the right way. You may not have been taught what I was taught. And what was considered basic courtesy where I came from may not have been taught where you came from. And even if it was, I still don't control what you do with it. And I've been getting frustrated with people for violating rules written on my tablet for years. I've been holding people accountable to contracts they never knew that they signed. And my illustrators, 2026, I'm still working on this. I'm not standing here telling you that I have mastered it. What I'm telling you is, I finally checked the tag.
Word of the day.
Reciprocity is the practice of exchanging things for others for mutual benefit, responding to an action with a corresponding action. And sometimes that's exactly where our expectations hide. I show you courtesy, so I expect courtesy back. I acknowledge you, so I expect acknowledgement back. I give, and somewhere inside of me, I expect you to give back. Now, reciprocity isn't necessarily wrong. Relationships need to give and take, and people should show consideration for one another. But there's a difference between hoping for reciprocity and believing somebody owes it to you. And that's something painful that I had to learn and I'm still learning. Because when I start believing that my kindness creates an obligation in you, that's when a gift can quietly become a contract. Some bags never get claimed. You've seen it. That one suitcase still going around 40 minutes later. Nobody's coming for it. Some baggage in your life is just like that. It's been circling for years. Old baggage, old hurt, old expectations, and old assumptions, looking for a brand new owner. And if you stand there long enough, staring at it, you will convince yourself that it's yours just because it's familiar, and also just because it's always been there. But here's what nobody tells you about a bag that you've carried for a long time. Sometimes you're not carrying it because you don't know where it came from. You know exactly where it came from. And sometimes putting it down feels like you are rejecting the person who gave it to you. Or you are rejecting how you were raised. Or saying what they taught you does not matter. But what if putting down the baggage doesn't require you to throw away the lesson? That's what I'm learning about expectation. I don't have to stop being courteous, and I don't have to stop saying thank you, and I don't have to stop holding doors. I don't have to stop letting somebody merge into traffic, and I don't have to be inconsiderate just because somebody else didn't respond the way I wanted them to. I can keep what was good and examine what Dwane added to it. And that's wisdom. Wisdom says, let the wrong bag circle and let it go to the lost and found. It was never labeled with your name, and putting it down doesn't erase where it came from.
Here is today's articulated illustration.
Wisdom is not the strength to carry more. Wisdom is the clarity to check the tag before you lift the handle. Strength gets you through the airport, and wisdom decides what actually goes home with you. And here's the part that we skip past too fast. You can put a bag down and still love whoever packed it. Those aren't opposites. Carrying somebody's pain isn't the only way to honor them. And sometimes, what was packed in that bag wasn't even pain. Sometimes it was a good lesson, a value, a standard, something somebody taught you because they wanted you to become a good person. But somewhere along the way, you may have packed something else beside it. If I live by this, everybody else should too. Wisdom may not require you to throw away what you were taught. Wisdom may simply tell you what needs to come out of the bag. And you are not required to carry every bag that circles past you in life, even the ones that look like they belong to you.
The mic drop.
Now, some of the most freeing moments of your life will be the bags you leave circling. The apology you don't chase, the closure that you never get, the comparison that you don't pick up, the expectation that you don't attach, the old version of yourself that keeps going around and around, looking for you to claim it again. You can just walk past it. Now, this week, before you pick something back up, ask yourself 3 questions. Who handed me this? Did God ask me to carry this? What happens if I put it back down? Just because you can carry it doesn't mean God packed it for you. So if you take one thing from today, let it be this. Wisdom isn't about how much you can carry. It's about knowing what's actually yours to carry in the first place. Take your time. Check the tag. And learn to walk past what isn't yours, what doesn't belong to you. And learn how to carry what is and carry it well. And sometimes you don't have to throw away what somebody taught you just because you discovered some baggage attached to it. I can still be courteous, and I can still show consideration, and I can still treat people the way that I want to be treated. I can keep the lesson without carrying the expectation. This is articulated illustration, and always remember to do what's absolutely necessary every day. And keep the pen in your hand. Why? It's your vision, your dream. Keep illustrating your life. And remember, just because it has your name on it does not mean you need to always carry it. Until the next illustration, we'll talk later.